Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russie from Poker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. Right, Robert Smith at the Boxing Board of Control. You're approaching 16 years now at the helm of the ship. 16 years. And it's in dire straits. Now, you think that every now and then you can do something good with board and that people like me are going to forget. You think, oh, there's something good here with board and for boxing and for that's in everybody's interest, and we'll all forget about things that have gone on in past. And there's one thing that's not going to go away, and that's the Gary Sykes thing. Forget this Conor Benn thing that's probably bigger than the Gary Sykes thing, but this is more. It's got more of a human element to it. It's got more. That's what sort of feel it's got to it, considering how Gary's health's deteriorated. So I'm not asking you. I'm begging you to look at this, Robert Smith. Begging you. I don't like you, but I'm begging you to look inside, reach inside your soul, and just look at the statistics that Julian McGowan's got on his computer, all the evidence, all the statements, it's all there. But you're not getting back in touch, are you? You're just sending a standard email back. What sort of person does that? What would you do if you had blood on your hands? How would your conscience feel then? Well, how would you feel? Would you feel awful? You think against Gary Sykes, a few quid out of some fun and make it all right, do you? No. I want to know why out of the 4 defences Gary Sykes had for that belt, the British title, 3 of them were mandated. 3 of them. 1 voluntary. It's usually the other way around, isn't it? 1 voluntary. Sorry, 3 voluntaries and 1 mandated. I say, excuse me, every now and then I get things. A bit muddled up, it's probably my age, a bit like you, Robert Smith. You know, when we get older, we make mistakes, don't we? You get to your mid-50s. But you've had a good old run, haven't you, there? Nearly 16 years. What is the best thing that you've ever done while you've been there? What? What's the best thing you've ever done? You can't even sort this Conor Benn thing out. You're filling your nappy constantly over this, aren't you? Constantly filling your nappy. That's what you're doing. Now, I hope I've got all this right because I've done my own research on this. Julian will speak very elegantly in the next few days, and I'll get that out there on YouTube. But this, I just want to, this is going to go on YouTube, but I want to give my take on this. I've met Gary Sykes, and I've met him a couple of times, actually. One in a club years ago, nightclub, and he was surrounded by beautiful women. Yeah. Everybody were patting him on back. He was the centre of attention, British champion. So that's Gary Sykes over there. Blonde kid with 6-pack, good-looking kid, had all his life in front of him. And you couldn't even, you couldn't even give him his British title outright. So I'm going to speak in layman terms here, not like Julian, because he's an educated man with a university background and degrees and masters and bachelors and all that coming out of his ear rolls. Well, I'm not like that. I didn't even finish school. I'm an egger. If I were a boxer, I'd be a move around guy, one of that journeyman or something. You know, I'm going to speak like I speak now to you. Right. Gary Sykes needed a win, didn't he, to get that title, like you lot are saying, and he got that win. But you people are saying that Carl Johansson, 30 wins, 4 defeats, former British champion. You're saying that Carl Johansson wasn't a worthy mandatory for that belt. But you're saying that Crawler and Paul Truscott were. Okay, fair enough. If they were higher than him up rankings at the time or whatever, fair enough. But are we supposed to go down the rankings? Now, Crawler didn't want to fight Carl Johansson. He said no. Paul Truscott, the next in line, he said no. Bearing in mind Gary Sykes had already beat Crawler twice. Yeah, Crawler, who ended up millionaire. Look how the careers have gone. A bit like Ali and Joe Frazier, wasn't it, really? Look where they both ended up financially at the end of their careers. And as regards adulation from the man in the street and the crowd and that Ali a hero, Fraser. We weren't treated like Ali, were it? Well, Gary Sykes is a fallen soldier, man down, or so to speak. Fallen soldier of British boxing. Paul Truscott knocked back the fight, and Crawler did. They both knocked it back to fight Carl Johansson. So that means Carl Johansson's like the winner, isn't he, really? It's a bit like Lennox Lewis when he couldn't get a fight, could he, for WBC? Final eliminator. They just upgraded him to champion. They did it with Ken Norton. And everybody more or less agreed that Gary Sykes is the mandatory. Now you'll be behind he said, she said, and what other people have said, and blah blah blah. I'm not going to name names, but put it all into the pot, the cesspit, the people involved. This is who we've got. We've got Gary Sykes, Julian McGowan, Steve Wood, Kelly Maloney, stroke Frank Maloney at the time, and you, Smithy. That's who's in the melting pot. And I know who I believe. I'm not having a go at everybody. I know I believe Julian McGowan because he's got integrity. This man knocked funding back from Dewsbury Council. Good money, really good money to run a gym. Right, he is a teacher of trainers. He's got integrity. 2 seconds. He's got integrity, right, Julian? So I believe him. Right? The rest of them, I don't get two hoops for. Line them all up. I won't believe a word any of them say. I don't know Steve Wood, but he's a boxing pro, isn't he? So I won't believe what he says. What boxing's, we know where boxing is at the moment. So any promoter that says out to me, I don't believe it. I just take it as a pinch of salt. And all the rest of you lot, the board and that. I believe Gary, but I don't think he's able to speak on this matter, really. He's probably just too devastated. But you, Smith, you know about it all now. Why won't you look at the evidence that Julian's got? Why won't you even have a sit down with him and let him show you it all the emails, articles, statements? You won't even give him time of day, will you, Smith? Why is that? Why is that? And all it boils down to, really, is just the price of a British title belt. That's all it is. If them belts were 50 quid, it wouldn't be a problem, would it? But they're not, are they? They're a lot of money, aren't they? That's what it boils down to, the price of that belt. For you to sign him off as British champion outright, join all the greats like Henry Cooper, you know, people like that. Crotch, you know, people that have got the belt outright. There's more as well, there's more. You just can't bring yourself to do it, can you? You can't bring yourself to do it. There'll be people who've won British title outright as well, who I've not mentioned, but anybody who's won a British title outright, it's a big thing. It's a massive thing, and you just can't bring yourself to do it, can you, Smith? You made a grave error, but you won't admit it, will you? And it ain't gonna go away. I'm not the type of kid to let it go away. No, I just won't do it. So I'm gonna have Julian on, and we're gonna go through it, and he's gonna do a detailed one. And we're gonna keep at you until you have a meeting with Julian McGowan and Gary Sykes and admit your mistake. I've seen all the evidence. I've seen it all. Guilty as sin. For the sake of a belt, you give Gary Sykes his belt, and I swear to God, you will go up in people's estimation. Same as the Conor Benn situation. He's failed 2 tests. And it's got to this stage where we're nearly 14 months down the line from the first one. And you still haven't dealt with it, have you? You've still not dealt with it. You're still knee deep in appeals and red tape and all that knackers. You're surrounded by QCs and lawyers and the border control. You just can't bring yourself to deal with it, can you? Do the right thing, Robert Smith. Do the right thing, because if not, one of these days you're going to be walking around at a show and you're going to get drenched in something. You don't get assaulted, you just get drenched. And it'll keep happening. It will keep happening. And that's a sad state of affairs, isn't it, for people to get the point across where they've got to throw drinks at people. And I'm not saying anybody should be doing that, but just do the right thing. Don't be a bad guy. Don't be a pantomime villain all your life. Do the right thing. Giving Gary Sykes a few quid out of some funding going to put this right. We know how much it is to do a British belt, to make one. And each individual picture on the front of Lord Lonsdale, is it? It's each one's different. They're all hand painted, aren't they? It's a fantastic belt. Just do the right thing. Give the kid his belt. So all you've got to do is win it outright. You telling me Carl Johansson can't be classed as a mandatory? Crawler didn't want to fight him, neither did Paul Truscott. So if nobody wants to fight him, he's still got to defend his belt. You should have just said it were a voluntary, shouldn't you? Why did he have to have all them mandatories? Anyway, why were he mandated? Out of 4 defences, which I can't get out of my head. Why were he mandated? 3 out of 4 times. It's unheard of. It's usually 1 out of 4. Why? Why is that? Why? Why couldn't you just give it as a voluntary? If I've got anything wrong in this, people tell me. Julian might tell me when he sees it. I'm just going to fly solo on this one. You've got to do the right thing. I ain't going to go away, me. Once I get something in my head, that's it. Once I set a goal, ain't no stopping me. Whether it's weight loss, face surgery, teeth surgery, hair surgery, wrist surgery, anything. Dieting, training, eating, taking drugs, whatever. Once I get it in my head, I ain't going to let it go. And I've got it in my head about this one, that it's a bad thing to do. I'm a champion of the British title. Sorry, I champion the British title. I'm talking there like I'm a champion boxer. I championed the British title. Look at Cobra's record, Carl Frotcher's. There ain't no trinket belts on there. WBA International Silver or IBO Intercontinental or WBC International. Load of crap. The British title's where it's at. That's the only belt that counts. After that, what counts after that? I suppose it's just really wins, isn't it? Really, great wins on your record. After you've got a British title, if you're lucky enough to win a British title, you can fight, right? Some people get a British title and they get them bought. Gary Sykes did his the hard way. Look at that Andy Morris fight. What did they throw? Over 2,300 punches between them. It's unheard of. Spilt guts in ring. Have you seen Gary Sykes now, Roberto Smith? Go have a look at Gary Sykes now. That's what boxing's done for him. Where's all Gary Sykes' pals? Where are they all now? Where are all you hangers on? Where are you? Oh, come on, Roberto Smith. Don't be a pantomime villain. Because pantomime villains, they get drinks thrown on, don't they, at pantomimes? We don't want that, do we? We just want to sit down with you. Boxing's the only sport where it brings out passion and emotion and ill feeling, and it mixes everybody up. Everybody's opinion in boxing. Everybody has an opinion, and we all like as favourites, and we don't have as favourites, and it's all a bit pantomime, isn't it? But do the right thing. Look inside yourself. Look in the mirror. Look, you've had a good do at this. We know what's going on, don't we? You had a good life, you. You were really going nowhere, were you really, before you got that job at board? You were on Skid Row. Skid Row. I've been on Skid Row. I've been on Skid Row, mate. Yeah. in my mid-30s. Yeah, it took me about 3 years to turn it around, and I never looked back. But I've been on Skid Row, mate. It's not nice. You were on Skid Row, and you're not now. You've made yourself a wealthy person out of that position that you've got. You look in that mirror. You look in that mirror and ask yourself, have you done the right thing? You know, when I see you, you know what I put it on you about, don't you? Pensions and all that, don't you? And stuff like that. But when I see you, I'm going to put it on you proper about this. And I won't be bothered who's there. All right. 2 seconds. Hello, Sophie, up the back of you. So, Roberto, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Give Gary Sykes that ticking box to say he's British champion outright. Do the right thing. Oh, if you can't do that, have a meeting with Julian McGowan at Cardiff. He'll come to Cardiff and he'll bring the dossier with him, and you need to look at it. And then all you've got to do is get on the phone to the people in the dossier. There's only 6 or 7 people. Speak to them all, and then you make a decision. But you lot, you need to arrange a meeting to see when you're going to have a meeting. You all need to sit around a table, yeah, all drinking vodka with lime and not lemon and ice. You know, all need to sit around, you know, vodka and tonic brigade. Yeah, you all need to have a meeting, don't you, about it? A meeting. Yeah, book it all down for your expenses. You've got it all figured out, you, haven't you? Well, you'll get in touch with Julian McGowan. I'll give you his email. I'll give you his email now. I mean, if I can't get on here, because that freaks and weirdos watch this, they'll probably be pestering him. You'll get in touch with Julian McGowan. You've got his email. You've got Julian's email. You'll get in touch with him. All right. You'll get in touch with him. You do what's right for this kid, Gary Sykes. That belt, you know, that belt. Okay? Give that kid his belt. You know it's the right thing to do, Smith. All right, now go on, because I ain't got no time for you.